Howdy, 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 howdy. How's everybody? Ooh, how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. I'm here with my dog Munch, of course, and I've got news. As usual, is Puppy Pot and Chill number 223. I'll come up with a name for this video later. Munch, quit. Quit. Leave that alone. You don't get to chew on that, dude. Go lay down. Alright. So, I got my bowl loaded. So, I'm going to do a little bit of smoking, a little bit of news. So, if you want to smoke along with me, go ahead and load up. If not, you don't have to smoke with me. I will smoke for you. So, let's take a couple of more quick drags off of this cancer stick, and then we'll put this down and start. Alright, and like I said, I hope everybody's had a good day and everything's going good for you. Alright, let's start off. Antifa guy falls 8 feet to ground after trying to climb the Chase Bank to vandalize it. He had black paint, and he was climbing the bank to paint it. Paint some kind of anti-fascist message or something. But he didn't get too far. He only got like 8 feet off the ground, like I said, and then he fell. And when he fell, he hurt himself. And while writhing on the ground, he was begging people to call 911. The far-left anti-fascist that thinks that all government is evil and the government programs need to be abolished, when he needed them, he was begging people to call 911 for him. The hypocritical, it's so stupid. Alright. They don't really want to abolish the police. They want the power for themselves. Censorship took a massive blow as Clarence Thomas of the Supreme Court put out an opinion that opens the door for court cases against big tech over censorship issues. Now, there's a lot of people saying that this is a blow against free speech because it doesn't allow big tech to censor what they believe speech should be. But what it does do is allow the small people like you and me to be able to speak freely like we should be, like we're guaranteed in our Constitution. So it's a massive win for the conservatives and a massive loss for the big tech democratic liberals. Good. Fuck them. Yeah, they're going to make it illegal to ban and censor people. This could finally be a big step back towards free speech, and we needed it. In the Chauvin trial, the prosecution, the MMA professional, crumbles under cross-examination. Why? Well, because he was asserting that Chauvin was applying a blood choke. And as I have said, that no, he was not. A knee in the back of the neck is nowhere near a blood choke. It's impossible to apply a blood choke with the knee in the back of the neck. A blood choke must be where both of the arteries in the neck are cut off. And it takes less than 10 seconds to make somebody lose consciousness from a blood choke. What Chauvin had on George Floyd was not a blood choke. And in court, it shows. He crumbled. It was obviously all bullshit. Just like I said. Go figure. Wow. So weird. Also, the force expert came up and said that the restraint that Chauvin used was a lesser form of retention. He could have used a taser to subdue George Floyd, but he wanted to de-escalate it, and he used his knee. And even then, there's a couple of videos from people who are saying that, saying stupid things because they are low information people, generally dumber than a stump. But because they were there with their cameras filming, some of the angles actually make it look like Chauvin had his knee on his shoulder, not his neck. Not like it matters, because even if his knee was on his neck, it wouldn't be a blood choke. I myself have been restrained on the ground longer than that, being held down. You know what happened? Nothing. Because it's not a blood choke. I was just subdued. It's all complete bullshit. And all these experts for the prosecution are crumbling under cross-examination because it's all been built up on lies and bullshit. The mainstream media and the liberal left are propping it all up, cherry-picking what's going on in the court proceedings, and they keep saying things like Chauvin takes another devastating hit. Chauvin, what they're not saying is for every time Chauvin takes a hit against him, he's also putting out like 4 or 5 hits against the prosecution because he didn't do it. What they're asserting he did not do. They're lying. It's all fake news being propped up by the liberal left and mainstream media. If you believe it, it's because you're willing to let somebody else tell you what to think and how to act. Not me. I'll stick with my own critical thinking and make my own opinions. But if you're too dense to make these opinions by yourself, by all means, watch ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, or CNN and let them tell you how to think. The Chauvin defense attorney says George Floyd admitted to eating too many drugs. I mean, this is really just falling apart for the prosecution and Floyd. It really is. George Floyd overdosed himself in an attempt to avoid jail. Apparently, on top of everything else, there is a speedball found at the scene with George Floyd's fingerprints all over it. No, no, no. No, this can't be. George Floyd was a good person. He wasn't doing a drug, wait, yes, he was doing a drug deal. He's not a good person. He's overdosed in the past. He has a history of drug use. He didn't want to get arrested, so he ate the drugs in an attempt to miss getting arrested, and he overdosed himself and died. The IRS said payments to SSDI, SSI, and RRB could take as long as, well, they don't know. I tried calling them today and they couldn't give me any information. I have yet to get my stimulus payment and they don't know when I'll get it. They have no idea. But what they did do is they made sure that the disabled and the elderly got the money last. Now, I know this seems kind of trivial to some, but there are articles you can look up that because the Democrats did not get the stimulus out fast enough to those who needed it, the people who were starving, about to be homeless, the elderly, well, a lot of people died. So because of the Biden administration and the other Social Security and the other governments involved, they are now murderers of old people because of the way they handled the stimulus. It almost actually seems like they are actively trying to get rid of the old people, like what Cuomo did with putting the COVID cases back into the nursing homes, therefore infecting the rest of the old people and a lot of them dying. Over 15,000. So, to me, it seems like the government, Social Security, and all the other entities involved are trying to kill old people. They are now murderers. They didn't get the money to the people who needed it the most when they needed it. And because of their ignorance, and maybe even if, I think they may have even done it on purpose, for whatever reason, because of the actions they took, old people died. They are murderers. The Biden administration are murderers. Period. You can't change my mind on it. I can see the articles where people died. They were starving. They lost their place to live, and they died to the elements because the government, Biden and Harris, couldn't be bothered to get the money out to the people that needed it the most. You are murderers. And of course, this is just my opinion, and I'm a stoner, so why are you listening to me in the first place? Don't listen to me, I'm a stoner. These are my opinions, my agenda. I'm trying to get the truth to you the best I can, but I do have my own opinion. So don't listen to me. Look things up for yourself. You find out what the truth is. Don't let somebody else tell you what the truth is. Biden pushes to sign executive orders to push gun control agenda with a bunch of lies in an attempt to make his executive orders sound like a good thing and get it pushed through and backed by the Dems. It's just a way for Biden to try to circumvent the Constitution or remove more rights from the people. I think it's complete bullshit. Now, I don't know for sure, but good luck coming and getting my guns. I'm willing to fight for my freedom. Are you willing to fight to take my freedom away? You need to ask yourself that question. Prisoners that are trans wanted to be housed with the women since they were women now being trans women. Well, there was a jail recently that actually implemented that, putting trans women in with biological women in the prison system. What happened was a bunch of attacks, rapes, and other things because they put biological men in with biological women. All right? You can tell me that you're a trans and everything, and I'll call you by your new name. But if you think that putting biological men in with biological women just because the men say that they're women will stop this from happening, no. They actually, no. Don't be dumb. Of course the men were going to attack the women. Anybody who says, oh no, they're dumb. They're stupid. All right? So, there may be a couple more jails who are going to try to implement this as well, even though there's a massive failure in the first attempt. They probably looked at it and said, well, they didn't do it right. We're going to do it right. No, it doesn't matter, you fucking morons. Biological men are biological men, and biological women are biological women. Now, I might get in trouble for saying that, but that is the reason women, biological women, were getting attacked in jail by trans women. Fucking idiots. The NRA has said, fuck you. They've had enough of New York City and their crazy virtue signaling democratic left ideas and lies that are bullshit and tearing down the city. So they gave New York the big fuck you and moved to Texas. Good for you, NRA. Surround yourself with people that actually want you. Get away from the ignorance of New York City, the stupidity of the people that think they know what they're talking about when they're low information people that think they're smart. Kamala Harris, has yet to visit the border wall, but along with AOC, she says that there is no immigrant crisis at the border, when there obviously is. There are children sleeping underneath bridges in those tinfoil space blankets. And this is after he reopened and filled the children's centers that AOC and everybody on the left called concentration camps. So now Biden is running kids in concentration camps. But people like AOC say it's all okay because even though Biden's putting kids in cages, he's trying to find a solution. You fucking ignorant fucks. Trump was doing a better job and doing a better job of finding a solution. The Democrats need to admit that they failed miserably and they need to reinstate some of Trump's fucking previous shit. Now, if they don't want to do that, they need to fix what they have fucked up so far. BLM was wrecked for disrespecting Martin Luther King. Yeah, Black Lives Matter came out and said a bunch of fucked up shit against MLK. Why? Well, that's my belief it happened because many of the BLM people aren't black. They're white virtue signalers trying to make themselves look big and great for doing what they think is right. It's not. They're ignorant and they're fucking up. BLM looters and rioters also attacked and smashed the windows and buildings of a children's cancer center. BLM did this. The children inside were terrified. This is domestic terrorism brought on by Black Lives Matter. But nobody is saying anything. Does that scare you? It scares me. Yeah, it's not getting called out because the Biden-Harris liberal left Democrats hide and cover scandals like this to protect their agenda and themselves. This is how evil and racist the Democratic liberal left really are. They show it. People can see it. But mainstream media and the other libs and the liberal Democratic left deny it and lie and cover up. In another BLM story, Black Lives Matter blocks black person because they didn't like their opinion. So Black Lives Matter had a black person on their website and the black person said something that BLM didn't like. So BLM blocked a black person. This is the absolute proof that Black Lives Matter do not care about black people at all, only about their organization and themselves and their agenda. This shows how Black Lives Matter truly is, disrespecting everyone because they feel they are better and smarter than the others due to self-applied self-entitlement. These standards seem to make them better than others when they are not. But they tell you they are. They're the good people. Everybody else is the racist, terrorist, and everything else. No. They're lying to you. Flat out fucking lying to you. Mainstream media props it up, and because people are dumb, they believe what they hear from the news. And I don't get it because some of it is so fake and obviously way off, not true. People still believe it. That is sad. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. We're almost at 20 minutes. Peace. I love you fuckers. I hope you have a good day. Be careful. And stay high, bitches.